Welcome to the Dungeon House, where a bunch of regular people with regular jobs gather to play Dungeons and Dragons. We aren't professionals, so if you hear food ASMR or a baby in the back, just understand it's normal. This show is recommended for those 13 and up. The music you'll hear is brought to you by William Heaton and various other artists. We're glad that you're here to share in the fun and laughter, as well as the challenges along the way. So come on into our home, take a seat on the couch, and enjoy the Dungeon House.
I'm not that talented. Yeah. It's crazy. No, but he does a really good job. I'm getting to the part where he's like trying to like establish contact with
with little farmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's like the other stuff going on, and he just barely killed a dog, and they're like, oh,
Oh yeah, the hunter's dog.
yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
What are we waiting on? Joy?
Joy and faith. Are we started?
I think so.
All right.
We're close to.
These are really.
It started.
I don't like those. They're not. They don't have enough. Tori explained it, but they just don't have. Like for me, they don't have flavor. Like they're very.
It's like ricey.
It's
like supposed to be like that.
Yeah, no sweetness. I love sweet.
Well, that's because you're American.
Yeah.
And I'm American too, and I love sweets. But these are also good.
No, they're bad.
It like reminds me of having like sugared rice. Good.
So, if you're American because you like sweet, what am I because I like salty?
German.
I feel like oh my.
Just
depressed. No.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Probably the downtrodden of the earth. I have to say, you're salty. Because if it loses its savor,
have we?
That's pretty good. I thought that was
pretty good. Yeah.
It's
friends.
Don't want to throw out too many biblically accurate references, but I will. They're coconut sticky jelly, and they're actually pretty tasty. I'm going to have my second. We are waiting for Joy.
Do we need to move the table a little more?
We can't. That felt a little far this way. Oh.
I thought there was a fly on me.
The other day, you need to tell them about your traumatic experience. Huh? The black thing that came in.
Oh, we had a cricket in our house not too long ago.
A what?
A cricket.
Oh.
It crawled underneath one of our rugs, so I stepped on where it was underneath the rug. And then I took a paper towel and lifted up the rug and put that.
I would rather have 20 spiders in my house than one cricket.
Nope. Depends on the spiders.
I would rather have spiders in every corner of my house than have a cricket.
Really?
Yes, I hate crickets. And grasshoppers. Like, yikes, you guys.
Is it like the legs? Or
It's the legs, it's the thighs, actually.
the thighs? It's weird how they have like thunder thighs for bugs.
This is actually what we were talking about, McKay and I, before we had our first kiss.
Remember that?
Insect thighs. Not right before.
Oh, okay.
This is in the same.
I was like, wow, that was like 180. So thighs, huh?
Right?
That's a way to get one. Yeah.
So, any of you out there just in that dating game, just talk about insect thighs, and you might get some.
Some people are into that. You'd be surprised.
Ears. It's not there for it. He's probably not the right one.
It's true. That's true. I mean, someone has to deal with the crickets in the relationship.
Okay, it was really funny. Like we were watching like The Office or something, and all of a sudden, like it was dark, but like they have the TV on, right? And I looked down, and there's just this little black
Thing coming
thing
across.
kind of hopping, and I was like, I know exactly what that is. And Tori like looked down and saw it, and she like jumped up onto the couch and like was perched and was like, "Don't come, yep, don't come near me. Get it." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go kill it." And she's like, "No, you can't kill it. You have to release it into the wild."
But then it'll just come back in.
No, not my house.
So I was not allowed to kill it, but I had to safely remove it
Safely remove it from the premise.
premises. And each time I missed it with a bowl, I just grabbed the bowl, put it over it.
I feel like bowls are not the way to go.
No, it worked well. I put a bowl over it, and then I slid a cardstock piece of paper under it. And then I just had this little container.
That's
And then when I got outside, I just went like this.
Yeah.
Boom.
Okay, so here's the other thing too. Like when you crickets are girthy. Like
They do. If you get a big one, they're like.
if you throw
I can get hit.
yeah, you throw a spider into the bushes, nothing. You throw a cricket into the you hear the thunk. Like it's nasty. Same
You
with
hear
grass.
the carapace hitting the ground.
I mean, I'd rather have the cricket though because a spider it can like crawl up into the bowl and I try to throw it and then
What's it gonna do to you?
it's going.
Just crawl around?
It might, and I don't like that idea.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, have you ever seen one of the big wolf spiders? That's big.
No, never seen spider.
Imagine a spider with the legs. Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about with
That's
their bodies like this big, legs out to this big, and
what?
they move like lightning. Yeah.
You want me to text Joy?
I think it is speed and unpredictability.
Speed and unpredictability is what makes things terrifying, especially in my life. That's why whenever I see Utah drivers, I just cower in fear. It's a rough life, especially working for the transportation department, where I'm like literally the whole entire day out on the road. I live in constant state of fear. I would get started, but I feel like we need at least to wait for my wife to get here before we start. So I hope that someone else has an entertaining story, or else it's going to be a little awkward.
I can share my story with everybody. You guys want to hear my week? You guys want to hear my week? You guys ready for this? Right? All right. So the last week since we played D&D, right? So what was it?
Last Tuesday.
What day?
Tuesday.
Was it last Tuesday? Yeah, well, last Tuesday, played D&D, went to bed, yada, 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 right? So we went through the week. I'm trying to remember when we had that phone call where it was me, you, McKay, and Kyle all on the phone. Was that Friday?
I don't think it
On Friday.
I don't think it was Friday because I came home early that day.
On Friday. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We enjoy our four-way conversations one of these days.
So on Friday, I get a call from my bank. Okay. My bank goes, "Hey, your car is not insured. You have a loan. You have to have your car insured." And so I was like, "Huh, weird. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have insurance. But all right." So, I was like, "This is a great opportunity to find a new insurance agency because my insurance agent." For those on the podcast or whoever, you can look it up on the internet, whatever. There's a guy named, a guy from Utah who shot and killed his entire family and then killed himself. Yeah, right? So he was my insurance agent, okay? So all of those records got distributed. And so I was like, I was with the company I was with because of this guy. He was a family friend. It gave me great deals and whatnot. So I'm like, yeah, I'll look for something else. So I'm calling around, calling different companies, and they're like, oh yeah, we can get you insured. Your monthly payment is going to be like $300 a month, And then you have to have a deposit of $500 before we'll even initiate your policy. Right? And I was like, whoa, that's expensive. I'm 25, so my rate should have just gone down. I have no idea why it's so expensive. So I start calling around, and then I call my insurance company, then my new one, where my records got transferred to. I called them, and I was like, hey, do I not have insurance? And they were like, yeah, your insurance got canceled. And I was like, oh no. All right, well, shoot. Why did that happen? And they were like, because you probably canceled it. And I was like, well, I didn't. Anyway, so I hung up. Tried to find different insurance, tried to find something. Apparently, I had been uninsured for like 35 days. After 30 days of not being insured, you get a label of being as a high risk person. And so the cheapest you will get is $300 a month with a massive down payment, right? That's the cheapest type of insurance you'll get. You have to be insured for 6 months for that label to go away. So I'm freaking out, and I'm like, how the heck did this get canceled? Turns out that my mom canceled my insurance policy. I was the only person on my insurance policy, so there is no other name on there besides me and my bank as lien holder. And so we're like, what the crap? How did that happen? And so it took some convincing, but I finally convinced the insurance company that they screwed up. And it took about 30 phone calls to get it all figured out. So I finally got insurance. I got my insurance back yesterday, right? So went to bed all nice and happy, like, heck yeah, you know, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, and then D&D's tomorrow. Heck yeah. I'm like, yo, let's go. At 2 o'clock in the morning, Loki, this little bum here, and you guys are probably hearing because he wants attention, started like freaking out in the middle, like 2 o'clock. Just started freaking out, started screaming, started like his teeth. He was baring his teeth. His fur was all on end, freaking out. And so I was like, "What is your issue, dude?" And I opened up my bedroom door, and he turned and he booked it, just full on sprinted. And so I was like, that's a little weird. So I poked my head out, and I watched somebody run out of my apartment. So somebody broke into my apartment last night at 2 o'clock in the morning. And
Wait.
I
know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the audience.
Did he take anything?
No. So Loki heard him opening the my sliding glass door. And that's when he started freaking out. And so he didn't have time to grab anything at all. So I owe my puppy a great deal of gratitude.
That's crazy.
So
Dogs are cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. My week. It's been a crazy week. The bank was threatening to repo my car. So they were like, get it insured or we're gonna take it. And I was like, oh no, don't do that. So
I thank you.
all right, I'll be right back. Go ahead and start.
All right. Okay. Let's get this ball rolling. I know it's been like a little 15-minute little chat, but I think we're finally ready.
Yeah.
I need someone that's going to be able to recap perfectly what happened last time. So I'm thinking Kyle again.
Kyle would be the worst because Kyle missed the whole combat session.
Yeah, that's true. McKay, has it been a while since you've done it?
Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah.
Has it?
No.
I don't know either. I'm just throwing it out there. If you don't
I
want
can
to
do it. I can do it. Probably from work. I had to take a lot of pens from work on accident.
Yeah.
It is in box cutters.
No,
he takes box cutters.
No,
but
those
we
are
bought
on.
them.
Those are
we
on.
bought them. And so last time we all almost died in a spectacular fashion. Okay, so last time we saved a woman from the rats. Actually, we didn't. Opal did. She just straight up smited them back to their infernal hell. We saved a woman who got bit by the rats, and we lost our guards in the process, so that was fun. We went and explored a little bit down, through the caverns. We were mostly just going straight for a while. Barren and Ren talked about their feelings. Then Ren noticed some little footprints leading off to the side, and so we decided to follow those instead of continuing straight. And so we followed those footprints, and they led us to a T section where we got into a fight with some black sludge creatures. And we found out that there's 2 little kids there. And one's a demon, but I don't think the party knows that. And we barely survived by throwing a Vorpal sword down a pit.
You don't know if it was a horrible sword.
Well, we don't know if it was a Vorpal sword, but
But it was
we
a +3 Vorpal sword that I want.
we threw a sword down a pit, and now I think we got some magic items right at the very end. There was like an amulet.
Clockwork amulet.
Alia took that one, and then we had a ring, which was cursed, and then a book. And I think we're about to take a long rest, I think is where we're at.
Yeah, that sounds just about right to me.
I do a pretty good job, Chase. Was that perfect? Like you
I'd say 9.5. There's a little bit of room for it.
still passing its name.
You know what? For that comment, we're going to drop it.
No,
Yeah, let's get started. I think it's about time. So to kind of help us all re-immerse ourselves into the world that is whatever's going on right now, I just want to kind of describe the scene before you. As you all find your own separate corner in the dusty, dimly lit room, you seem like you have something you
I
want
was
to
gonna say, I feel like it's pretty bright. Don't we have like 2 ever-burning torches in that globe of orb thing?
It's bright for the area.
Okay.
Still not as bright as the sun. You all find a spot among the refuse, the old broken weapons of whatever this armory used to hold. A faint smell of mildew, wet wood, and just dust kind of permeates your nose. It's kind of throwing off your internal time clock. It's been a few hours since you've ventured into this dungeon. And it's hard to tell whether it should be day or night. It's getting to the point where it's all kind of blending together, where you're not sure whether you should be tired or you shouldn't be. Either way, at this moment, with all that's happened and transpired earlier this day from your fights with the previous shadows, fight with whatever that monstrosity was outside this very door, before it slipped down that hole leading to hopefully some godforsaken area. You find a little bit of rest and a little bit of surety with the blockade that you've placed before you in the doorway, hoping that that's enough to deter whatever might wander through this area. To your side, you see 2 children, both of them starting to look fairly tired, fairly haggard. They look dusty and dirty. Their clothes themselves, now with a little bit more time, you're able to get a better look. They've been scraped. You see cuts in the clothing where they look like they've been ragged for the last little while. About this time that you're all kind of gathered together and deciding on who would take first watch and how the watches are going to go throughout the night.
I didn't do too bad in that fight. I can take first watch.
I'll join you, Mouse.
Yeah. Barren.
Opal face plants into the ground.
Yeah. Without even taking off her armor, she just finds a
Oh no!
Good.
Wait, that's bad.
with
I'm
mostly taking off her hand.
So we start taking off her boots. Like,
Yeah, just helping her.
yeah, she's like kind of half asleep, maybe. Like, Adelaide will kind of go off
The rest of it.
unless she wakes up. Reimagine. Yeah. No longer needs to hide the boots.
Adelaide thinks about helping Opal with her boots, but Opal, after collapsing, decides it's not a good idea to sleep in her armor. I mean, it dawns off the set of clothing and plate mail.
I remembered.
With that, is there anything else that anyone else would like to do before we go to our first watch?
Let's see. Who was with Adelaide when she found that necklace?
It was
Everyone, I think.
Everyone?
mostly everyone. I think, was it Opal who walked up?
Oh, so Opal already took a look at her. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
You said it wasn't magical.
It is not imbued with magic, though it is very finely crafted. It looks very ancient. Probably needs a cleaning before it'd be well worth a wear, but still very nice.
I think I said it last time, but I'll just reiterate just in case I didn't. Alia is going to cook for herself and the two kids.
They eagerly, almost like have ravenous animals, devour the food that you present them. Vinny, the younger boy, as he introduces himself after wiping his mouth and kind of seeing that there's still kind of a little grease on it, so he licks it again. He introduces himself and saying, "Wow, this is really good food, man." The older of the boys says, I haven't tasted something this good for ever."
Well, I'm glad you guys like it. Hopefully it can help build up some strength.
Yeah. I'm pretty tired right now, Vinny says. The older boy, who hasn't quite introduced himself, he'll say, "So, what are you people doing down here?"
We actually came down here looking for you guys. Your mom is worried sick about you guys, and so we figured we would try and come help her find you. So
You don't look like guard except you two, and she points towards Oz and Moth, who are adorned in the usual crimson cloak drab. Who are the rest of you? She asks back to you.
Alia with it. Oh well, we're vigils that were sent to come help your city.
With this, the older of the boys go, "Oh, and turns to his younger brother and says, "I've heard of these vigils. They're very powerful. I think they'll help rescue Hun."
Is Clem still down here?
Vinny, before do an insight check real quick.
Insight, you say? 18.
18. Look something up just real quick.
Yeah, good. Drop my man.
All right. So with an 18, you're able to detect, like, as he says, like, the name Clem, and looks at the boy. He kind of like looks back at you, like almost surprised at what he's said. You almost get the feeling like he said something that he wasn't meaning to, but it's hard to tell.
Okay.
Like he's kind of like more startled at what he said himself. Like, oh, ooh. But then he kind of comes back into his character and looks back at Vinny. And Vinny's eyes go wide and say, oh, good. We've been worried sick about her.
Are there more?
What were you saying, Barren?
Are there more kids than just the three of you?
No, just three, Vinny says, the young boy, like, seeming excited, knowing that they have some semblance of safety at this point. Yeah, there was me and Ralph here, and Clem. We all came down here, and we were able to. I don't remember much, as Vinny's kind of eyes like go a little fuzzy, but I remember Ralph grabbing my hand and pulling me away, and we ran, and Ralph, he kept on leading me, and we were able to find spots that we could hide. And he was so brave. Yeah. And he kind of like looks back towards his brother and seeming adoration.
How did you get here? Like, in just over in the other room.
The older boy, as you see, like Vinny almost wants to continue telling his story. The older boy kind of like motions for him to stop and like let him tell. We've been wandering through these places trying to find a way out. Look, I think my brother and I are pretty tired. We should probably get some rest. So I know that he's excitable, but I think it'd be for the best.
I agree. Here, you guys can use my bedroll and sleep.
You see Vinny go, oh boy, and Ralph kind of follows him over to it. Says, all right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
They both in turn kind of use kind of half, like, you know, the sleeping style where feet to head. They both kind of lay down. One of them tries to take a little bit more of the bedroll. The other one kind of scooches them over again. Then the older one scoots over and takes up more of it, and then the younger one tries his best to scoot the older one over. Doesn't do a good job, but eventually they find a good way of sharing the bedroll itself.
Out of curiosity, Chase.
Yes.
In the room that we're at, like, are they farther away from the doors or close to the doors?
I say they didn't necessarily choose. Like, they look like they're.
Alia probably would have. I would have probably set up the bedroll closer to the fire, and I figured the fire that we probably would have had in there for cooking and stuff like that would have been more towards the center back.
Okay.
And that way, there's just space for watch and stuff like that. So,
Sounds good. Sounds good.
They
Just
would
checking.
be closer to that wherever you set it up. That works.
yeah, just like the middle of the room, pretty much.
Opal, would you say that again? I think you're a little quiet.
Since Opal was exhausted, she is closer to the door.
With that, as the rest of your party kind of settles, Pablo somehow managing to set up a large tent in this small area. It's quite impressive. You kind of start wondering maybe she has different sizes of tents that Pablo can use depending on the available space. This is the smallest one, but it's still quite large. It takes up about a quarter of the room. And he gets out his little cronk covering and lays down next to it.
I like the term cronk covering. Like a tent that covers just the knees, the shins.
With complimentary teddy bear.
Yeah.
Exactly. With that, Barren and Moss, you find each other just left alone in the light of this room.
For the first 10 minutes, I'd like to take a short rest, if that's okay.
Yeah, you can take a short rest.
I'm assuming Moss gets that as well.
Yes. This is your second short rest, so if you try again, no can do, sir.
It's a good thing we're taking a long rest.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm doing dice real quick.
No stress.
Nice.
Back to full health. I had to use all my dice though. But back to full health. Anyway, yeah, I'll just kind of. I think I'll sit there. Did we determine who has? Do you have that book, Ben? Open. Right now, you do have that book.
Yeah, I have the book. I landed on it.
Okay, I'm really curious about that. I will. Yeah, I'll just kind of keep an eye out, and unless Moss is going to initiate any conversation, then I will probably just play chess by myself.
Nah, Moss is just gonna watch Barren play chess, but Moss is just gonna be like actively perceptive, especially surrounding just like because the whole room is lit, right?
Yeah, it's bright light.
Okay.
I'm assuming that you guys keep the night lights on at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Moss is just observing. Nothing. Not in the mood to talk.
Make a perception check, both of us. Are you perceptive?
Yeah, like I'm watching.
Are you percepting?
Are you perceptive?
Alright.
Right now.
So this is the worst time of night to get this roll. Gosh dang it. What was that?
Was that a nat 20?
Yeah. So I just need to.
I got it.
My Excel sheet just disappeared.
No worries. I think I know how much yours would be if you're good.
Yeah. It's high.
So with Moss actively watching the room, especially with Barren, who casually playing a game, but also definitely keeping an eye out as well. You're both are able to highly deduce that there is nothing going on in this room besides the figures around you softly sleeping / snoring. Now I have a question. Of the group, who's the snorer?
I was thinking if I got a 20, I would be.
I would say at this moment, Ren's sleeping too deeply to snore.
Yeah.
He's zonked.
Yeah. It's like one of those breathing, like times that you're breathing and you're like you don't even know that you fell asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what happened. Like he's in the middle of like a wood carving, whittling.
Yeah.
He just like fell asleep with it. All right. If no one wants to admit it, we can leave it there. It's coming from somewhere though.
I think partway through my watch, I'll look up and see that one of the kids has taken all the blanket from the other one.
Yeah.
And I will go and grab my blanket and gingerly place it over the other kid.
You set the blanket down on the kid. You could tell that this one was kind of shivering from the cold. The stones down the steep kind of suck the heat out of you, and so the sleeping child takes it readily and curls up into it.
I'll also leave two of my rations for them in the morning as well.
Perfect. Just so you know, with the rations for the kids, since they do encompass like the meal of through the day, I will allow for you as well as for Alia, since you want to feed both the kids, I'll allow you to split that food for the meal that you can use. So just mark off one ration.
Just one?
For,
Okay.
Just so you know.
Elias is definitely better. Barron's is just like dried nuts and like.
Well, I think they're the same rations, aren't they?
No. Well,
No?
kind of.
No.
So I don't know if you know what rations are in D&D, David, but it's
I
not
just figured
dried
they were
nuts,
MREs.
hard cheeses, a type of bread that is like almost like a cracker, stuff like that. That's usually what
Rations are. Yeah, no, Alia would have like, if you want, and we can talk about this later, Chase, mark off more money or whatever. But Alia would, yeah, she would have like full blown like everything she would need to like cook soups and stuff like that. So
She carries a backpack, not for travel gear, but for
like cooking. That's like her big bag. Like what's mainly in her backpack is all just cooking stuff. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, good deal. With that, the 3 hours or so pass for the next watch. Who do you guys wake up?
I will wake up. Adelaide.
Adelaide?
I'll go up and shake the tent.
Pablo will stand up really quickly and say, "Up on a storm?" And then goes, "Oh." Kind of goes back underneath this little covering. Adelaide.
So
Snoring.
Moss didn't have out of curiosity, Chase. If Moss wants to trying to find the right word. If Moss wants to go on a second watch so others can rest, is that cool? Or do I need to rest to get my long rest?
You will need to rest to get your long rest.
right.
At some point, you can either make it to where this long rest is drawn out, so that way, like, it'll take longer to do for you to get caught up, or you can choose to take less sleep, but that will accrue you with a point of exhaustion.
Yep, screw that. Moss is gonna wake up someone else. Ren.
Okay. I like to think like you have to kind of push him a little bit, like a few times. Like I fake wake up, and then I go back to sleep.
Like when you see someone's eyes like open and they like have recognition for a second, but then they
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah. But yeah, I get up. It's all good.
Nice.
Adelaide and Ren, you both are brought to the attention of the need to watch.
The room that we're in is just like one door, right?
It's one door. It's been blockaded by a lot of stuff.
Seems legit.
That's really all you see right now.
Adelaide is kind of sitting closer to the light, and her hair is just insane bedhead, like crazy. And she's just like sitting and kind of staring straight ahead, but like no one's home. Like she's so tired.
I feel like Ren would be like the same way, but he realizes like don't want to fall asleep, even though we're probably fine. So Ren will just say, "So, those oozes."
Those oozes.
Yeah, those oozes.
They like, yeah. And then her head's gonna like start falling forward just like a little bit, and then it's gonna like attach at the end, and she's gonna go, "Oh, oozes."
You know, like when you wake up and you're eating your cereal and you're just like staring in the distance, thinking of like about something maybe, like but you're just like just on autopilot. I imagine that's what both of them are doing. It's just like the awkward, like you wake up and you're kind of grumpy, so you don't talk to each other. But yeah,
I love that. That's hilarious. It's like forward staring into the abyss.
yeah.
All right, good to know.
Are we in that room with the hole?
No, you chose a different room.
That won't be terrible.
That would be awful place.
Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think nothing. I don't really have anything that I want to say to Adelaide.
She's usually much more talkative, but she is definitely not a like she needs her beauty rest. And the beauty rest was interrupted.
No worries.
I think I can tell with the bedhead. I'm like, yeah, that's me too.
It takes not too long. Probably about 45 minutes into your watch. Without really focusing on perceiving what's around you guys, it takes you really a good minute to recognize what's going on. But then something moves, and you're like, wait, is my eyes playing tricks on me? And you see a little bit of movement again. Almost looked like something from the door slinked past, casting a shadow on the backside. It's hard to tell what it is. I think it's behind the chest that you guys found the magic items in the day before, or the night prior.
I'm gonna shake myself awake. Give me a little slap. I want to look at what's going on here.
Do you point it out to Adelaide?
Yeah, I'll like whisper, like, "Did you see that?" And I'll like gesture to the thing.
Adelaide's just gonna squint her eyes, and then if you approach, she's gonna just kind of like follow like slightly behind you.
Okay.
I imagine like you didn't really have time to like grab like a lot of your Like you're still in like your PJs.
Oh yeah,
So, like,
it's for sure a nightgown. Like
Ren
Bare
is
feet.
holding his lightning javelin. You're like creeping forward, probably with like a spatula or something like. Just yeah, hair. Just like slowly kind of.
safety pin, just whatever is nearby that can maybe do damage. I like that.
But in all seriousness, as you approach the chest, you hear a faint sound coming from behind it. It almost sounds like the sound of like metal scraping on stone. That kind of sharp, but it's not loud.
Just like a little bit at a time. It's moving.
Almost like a scratching sound.
Yeah, I want to take a look.
How do you do it? Are you like peering around, trying to get an eye on it, or are you going to throw it back?
No, I want to get an eye on it because I don't want to throw it back and have it like jump on me.
Yeah.
Except, no, I'm not a fan.
You don't know what the thighs are like.
Yeah, the thighs, if they're gross, yeah, it'll just won't be the way. So I want to like peer around to see if I can get a look at it. If I can't, I'll peer more. And I'll just kind of keep going until I get a visual. What am I dealing with here?
Make a perception check as you're hearing.
Will do.
You can't percept.
Can't percept. Okay. That's a 21.
Oh, that's really good. I figured it'd take about 20 to be able to distinguish what you're seeing. At first, your first peer, you see what looks to be some sort of dark shape, small, moving behind there. And with the confidence of your size compared to whatever it is, you take a chance. You peer even farther, and you see what looks to be a small glob of that black substance. And it has wrapped itself around like about half of a gold coin and it's slowly dragging it back towards the door. Unnoticing you, it's slowly just working its way towards it.
I think it's kind of cute.
Adelaide can't see it then. She's not.
I think I'll see it. I'll maybe like guide her over, bring her close, point.
Adelaide, you will see like one of the think of like, you know how that ooze was like room filling. This one's like not even dinner plate filling. It's like right like that big.
Guinea pig.
Yeah, guinea pig sized.
Guinea pig.
And
Is
it's
it
like
a big slug?
it's not like it's more of like a puddle.
Okay. But it's like eating the coin, or it's just taking it away?
It's like trying to drag it away.
Does it have little hands?
Yeah, it has like little hands and like a little.
It's one of those like the hands that you like grab things. I mean, that you get from the doctors. Yeah.
Everything about it is just like an amorphous blob, except the hands. They're very distinct.
He has the coin, and he's just taking it away.
Yeah, he's slowly scooting back.
I'll look to Adelaide, and I'll maybe, I don't know if I should sign it or whisper it, be like, do we kill it?
I don't know. Maybe try getting the coin back.
It's his. I don't want it. I think if we should just get that torch and maybe just burn it.
We're gonna kill it?
Maybe. I mean, if this is a baby, I don't want it to grow up and be bad and eat us.
Oh, don't call it a baby. Now we can't kill it.
You're right. I'm sorry. But it's a small adult. Like Moss. And Moss, let's be honest, not cute.
Can Moss wake up at that comment, please?
You did roll a nat 20 on your perception, so I would say yes.
Or the camera will pan over to Moss sleeping so soundly, snoring like the
And then one eye's,
floating up his nose.
and then you watch as like one eye of Moss opens up and just like stares Ren down, and the eye is just like glaring with intensity. And then it like rolls backwards, and Moss closes his eyes again.
Always watching.
Oh yeah.
I vote we take one of those ever burning torches or whatever and kind of, see what, kill it. But I'll let Adelaide decide. I'll her be the arbiter.
You see that it's gone the coin stuck in between one of the grooves of the rocks. It's really trying to get it out. It's struggling.
Is the goo cute or is it?
It's pretty cute.
Oh man. Oh,
Okay,
no.
but is it only cute because it's small?
Yeah. Adelaide's gonna take off her little slipper, and she's gonna kind of scooch it towards the slime.
Scooch it towards it.
Scooch it towards it.
As soon as like something kind of approaches its periphery, it doesn't have eyes. It just kind of senses things around it. It's going to like see like you approaching, and it's going to like really like try to pull on the coin harder, and then you hear like a little soft. It's like plopping. It's very slow. It's not very fast. It's like plops like towards the door, trying to escape.
Does it move with like the pseudopod? It like and it like pulls itself. Okay, it has like little legs.
Yeah, it's
It
not like
makes it.
it's not like this. It's like kind of like think of like a seal. How a seal would like.
Okay, it just bounces. It's like
Yeah, how it balances.
Okay.
Hey, Adelaide's gonna scoop it up in her slipper,
Scoop it up in your slipper.
Yep.
You scoop it up.
and I guess it kind of falls under her hand a little bit.
It is a little bit big. It fits in your slipper, but you do notice like the faint smell of burning cloth as it goes in there. Something about this creature tends to it just seems to be able to digest things by just
digest organic material.
So
And like imagine it's in the slipper, and its little hands are like holding it like a sleeping bag.
it's like you just see like a little smoke coming out of the top.
It burns a hole through the bottom, and
It's like it starts squeaking out. And it looks like it's about to fall out. The slipper apparently not being the best of container for such a specimen.
as it's looking like super cute, and it's little.
It's still kind of a little whimpering. Like
Emily's just gonna like hold it and then like look at Ren and just be like, "Come on, like, so cute."
Okay. Ren is charmed. I want to poke it. Not with my hand, maybe with like my safety pin that I have.
you have a what that you're gonna have, and you're gonna poke it.
And it's just a thing. I don't know if there's like a little like wood splinter that I just want to poke it.
As you bring the stick kind of close towards it, you see like the little pseudopods kind of come out, and it's like starts kind of doing like this little thing.
It doesn't look like a stick. Oh no! It's like
It like looks like trying to like grab it and like almost put it into like as it like its body kind of
the mouth opens up.
trying to kind of put it in.
Is there a little crumb of food around?
You notice that Barren has left out some of his rations, and there's probably some crumbs around it.
I'm gonna get a little piece of cheese, and I'll put it on the end of the stick, and I'll give it to the ooze.
To the ooze, as like it kind of the little pseudopods like it's kind of resting though. It's slowly like kind of starting to hold itself in place in the slipper and slowly sinking down. Its other pseudopods kind of reach up and with the cheese not being like part of the stick, it's easily able to grasp it, its little pieces, and pull it down to its level, and just
Little
pass
bite.
it's kind of just munching on it. It looks like it's eating it, but you can see like with every kind of little morsel, it like every little squish it does. It's like you think it's like gummy.
It's like just trying to dissolve it.
Yeah, it's just slowly dissolving this cheese. It seems not nearly as scared as it kind of slowly eats this. It like having no eyes, it senses that there's something living close towards it, but whatever is going on, it really likes.
Did it grow bigger with the cheese?
No, not really. It's not seeming to be like exponentially growing as it eats more stuff. It just seems to be, this is the size of it for right now.
It's satisfied for right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name him Donnie.
Donnie, no.
Donnie Oozeman.
Okay. I'm like this much willing to keep this as a pet because I like him.
It's about this point that it's like starting to like lose its grasp on the shoes. The shoes kind of melted and like kind of curled a little bit. He's like, and you see it fall and it goes, and it like splats just super hard on the ground.
Just so flat, just
so hard. And then slowly just like kind of creeps back together into one ball. And then
so as it flattens, I imagine Ren and Adelaide are like
exactly. No,
like, we're like being so silent because we don't want to wake everyone up. Like there's a scene on Adventure Time when they're hiding in Marceline's closet and a spider crawls on Jake and bites him, and it's just completely silent. And he's like, and just like going down to nurse it back to health, but it like retains its shape. And then we're like,
it kind of like it's little pseudopods that uses for arms. Because I almost imagine like it has kind of like almost like an octopus-esque look where it has like little pseudopods like kind of all around it. They're kind of just feeling, and then the like kind of two that it uses for arms, and like a little mid hump as kind of like the little head as it's kind of like feeling around, just sensing its new location.
Does it seem content, or is it trying to leave again?
It seems like it's well, just content. It's been fed, so
yeah, Ren will say
very, very particular with its food. It looked like it would have eaten that steak or the coin or the cheese. It doesn't matter.
Did it eat the slipper?
You would assume that that's probably what was happening, as it doesn't have really control of what it digests, as it's just kind of made out of acid, and as it dissolves stuff, as you kind of getting a better glance at it, the only thing that really seems to not really dissolve well from it, you notice is kind of like the stone around it, and other silicates like that.
Ah, yes. Silicates. Okay, so yeah, Ren will say, I'm support keeping this as a pet for now. We've got to figure something out about this hole, and I'll just gesture to the dissolved slipper. Which I'm sorry. By the way.
Other slipper on the ground, it starts kind of munching on that a little bit.
Well, it's not eating the stone. You can make him a little house out of rocks.
A little rock cage. Except, is there any way to contain him? Because I feel like if it's like a cage, like if there's a hole in it, like he'll be able to come right out. Ren will poke Donnie Oozeman with his finger.
Like, as you touch your finger, think of it as kind of like, it's not like a pleasant sensation at first. Like you touch it and like, ooh, and then you kind of try again, And as it seems to like you get used to it doesn't quite like eat away, just like starts eating at your skin. Though it also kind of like will bring its pseudopods over and like starts kind of gnawing on you, but you're a little bit hardier than just like a piece of cheese that's kind of loosely crumbled away.
Yeah.
It takes a little longer for you. It looks like it's able to dissolve stuff better if it's able to kind of get wrapped around it for a little bit.
So it feels like those fish that eat the dead skin off your.
Exactly. It's like a tingling sensation after a little bit.
Okay. My hand's like in it. I'm gonna wave Alia over. You gotta try this.
It's gonna put out her hands like this.
As you pick it up, you can tell that it's not like strong enough to actually consume you, but it's able to like quickly eat off kind of that dead skin layer on your skin. And as you kind of pass them back towards Ren, you notice that your hands are expertly smooth.
Oh, this is fantastic.
I like Donnie a lot.
Donnie too.
Hey, but here's the thing, I'm afraid. And I'll point to Barren.
It's about this point that Pablo will poke his head in between your heads and say, I found a part, just don't tell him. Like he's been part of this conversation the whole point.
And Ren without just not even batting an eye. Good plan, Pablo.
And he produces out of your bag, Adelaide. I had a thought, Prima, and he pulls out what looks to be a good quarter-sized jar, like a quart-sized jar.
Glass is the silicate. A little mason jar.
A little mason jar. With its lid, he screws it off, and
You pop it in there.
you kind of like have to like shake him off a little bit as he's like trying to hold on.
Yeah, you have to like peel them off.
He pops it into the jar, and without like kind of the slick walls of the glass, he kind of tries to crawl up it, and then like kind of slides down. Kind of tries to crawl up the other side, slides down a little bit, and eventually he kind of just settles into the bottom, looking less like an ooze and more like just kind of like a still glass of black liquid that's going to settle to the bottom.
Forbidden punch.
As you can see, that it's little pods that have kind of like been reaching up, kind of settle down, and you see its little mouth kind of open, almost in the essence of a yawn, and then kind of closes.
I thought he was maybe sad in there, but I think he's comfy. I'll bend down, I'll grab the little coin that he had, and I'll just gently place it in there with him. Like a little teddy bear.
The pseudopods like wrap around the little coin, and then just it slowly sinks into the ooze.
Well, he looks quite content. Good night, Donnie. Good night, Donnie.
You kiss the jar.
Yeah.
I'll like put my hand on the jar so I can feel my warmth through the glass.
You notice that's kind of like a magnet, like it kind of slowly like moves towards that side.
Ooh, I like it.
With that though, and the excitement of Donnie, you recognize like it's probably been about time to switch out whose watch it is.
Okay, who do we tell about Donnie then?
We tell Pinky about Donnie.
She might make it really known, though. If we tell Pinky, we tell everyone. Though I do think Pinky would be a good caregiver to Donnie. Might spoil him a little bit. I think we should teach Donnie discipline a little. But
We should
I don't
really there and play with Johnny so he can get plenty of exercise.
He does need that stimulation.
Yes. For his development.
We're gonna have to tell Barren sometime.
Not yet.
Yeah, if we can prove that like Donnie's good, we can take care of him. He's a good boy, doesn't be in the house.
Feed him in the bathroom.
Because if we tell him right now, he'll be like, no, get rid of it, it'll kill you. But if we tell him in like a month, we're not dead yet. It's all good.
Maybe by then we can teach him some tricks too.
Yes, and that will impress Barren, I think.
It will impress Barren, I think.
Okay, we tell everyone but Barren.
Alright.
And Moss.
And Moss.
Okay. It's settled.
With that, in the kind of like a head nod towards each other, confirmation of the plan, and with both of your hands kind of like holding the jar of Donnie, like
Jar of Donnie. I love him.
You both recognize that it's about time to switch out. Who you all choosing to be your replacements?
Who else is there? There's Opal and Pinky.
Alia and Pinky.
And Captain Hoss.
And Captain Haas.
Maybe we'll wake up Pinky.
Ren will wake up Alia. But I imagine we wake them both up with Donnie in their face.
Like, look at this.
You're like,
Shh. They're like, what? Like, just waking up. Like the videos of people that like wake up their husband to like play Monopoly, saying it's their turn. It's your turn, roll dice. And they're like kind of going along with it, but like
grabs the jar and
yeah.
just like okay.
Like kiss the jar, please. Like we don't need.
Kiss the Donnie. A jar of ooze.
Alia and Pinky, this is what you wake up to.
This is so lucky, you guys. I had Sacred Flame pulled up, ready to cast, and then I like if he didn't do the little then he would be done. Like Donnie would be done.
The sound. Oh man.
All right.
I think Alia would be more confused than anything else and just be like, why do you have a jar of ooze?
Of juice.
Yeah. There's like, why? Like, what is, why? And you guys are like all fawning over it, and it's just like a black, like, ichor liquid. It's just like
a little gold coin in there, though.
Every once in a while, you'll see it kind of swirl around.
And Alia will just be like, you found a gold coin covered in goop? Is
goop?
Is that what you're... So you've named the gold coin Donnie?
No, not the coin. And I'll take your hand and I'll put it up to the glass. And Donnie will go up and feel that warm touch. And I'll just say, Donnie.
Whoa, what is this thing?
I'll just say, I don't know.
And why is it in a jar?
Because he loves to be loved.
He loves it in there.
I'm too tired to deal with this. Fine. Take your jar and go to bed. I'll keep watch.
Joy, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay.
Yeah, after we move on from Alia, we do the same thing to Pinky. Right, that worked well. Let's do it again.
Yeah, Pinky's she's gonna be confused as well. Like, well, what is it?
I'll let Adelaide head this one.
It's an ooze, Pinky.
And is it alive?
Yes, it's alive, and his name is Donnie.
She's gonna grab the jar and I don't know.
As you grab the jar, you see, like, I feel like your hands are really small, but you have to hold it with both. Again, understanding what's going on, and you see the ooze kind of split and go to both sides of where your hands are at. But as it does this, it leaves kind of the gold coin in a precarious situation, kind of in the middle, and you see little pseudopods kind of reach out for the gold coin as it kind of crawls back towards that and picks it up and then settles down with it into itself.
She's gonna spend the whole night just putting her hand on different parts of that jar and watching it roll to her hand.
Like you test how fast you can spin your hand around it to see how fast you get Donnie to go around the jar. All right. I think you were calling. Yeah. All right. With that, Alia and Pinky, is there anything that you'd like to do while you're watching other than Donnie duty?
Yeah.
Alia would have made him take it to bed. Like, I'm not watching your goop. Go tuck him in.
I like to imagine maybe Adelaide like sleeps with Donnie.
Yeah. He's like you bring him into the tent, and no one else has really been into the tent yet. And so I'm not going to describe it because that's
you gotta show Donnie around.
But like it's like the camera pan is just on Adelaide and Donnie as she opens up the tent flap and like walks in, and if you had eyes, they just go wide, and like you see like the shine of things in there, just alluding to what's inside the tent, but never disclosing it.
It's so bright that you can't see what it is.
Like and then they retire for bed.
It's like a sauna. It's like misty in there. Like, what's going on?
You have no idea. It's like rolling out fog in like a bright light from whenever someone like looks in. But
Or there's like colored lights, like those rainbow LEDs.
Well, anyways,
Like incense smell.
Alia and Pinky, is there anything that you guys would like to do with your watch?
Is this the last watch?
This is. So you both already received your long rest.
Okay. Alia will probably start prepping breakfast.
Are you planning on cooking breakfast for everyone?
Sure, why not?
All right.
How many rations do I need to mark off?
I imagine that you all probably have the understanding that if Alia is preparing food, she'll kind of grab the ration from your own, like the other people's supplies and bags. So this is just counted as part of everyone else's ration that will be used this day. So you don't have to worry about anything. It'll just be part of the ration that everyone else. It's just when you're feeding more people than your party, that's when I'll have you mark off.
Okay.
So with what's been provided for the boys to have breakfast, as well as bring your own supplies, you should be good to cook breakfast for everyone.
Okay. Yeah. So she'll probably start the fire, check on the little kids, and continue just prepping.
Good deal. Vicky, is there anything else that you'd like to do?
I'm assuming that. Sorry, Pinky will just kind of words. She'll take out her little special party bag and she'll take the leaves she's collected, string them together. I don't know, maybe she'll make a cupcake. She's just keeping up with her party supplies.
Yeah, you work on them for a little while. Do you plan on setting anything up in here for the morning of when you guys leave, or is it just more of this is a prep time?
Prep time.
Yeah, good deal. Well, with that, as you guys continue your different duties this morning, the watch is uneventful. Nothing else happens. No more Donnies show up, blessedly. And by that point, everyone has waken up in the morning. And I think this might not be a bad time to go to break, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Be back here in about 10 minutes. We'll start about right at the beginning of 7:55, 8-ish. So we'll see you in a bit.
All right.
Bye. I have to use.
Would you describe the noise that Donnie made that really disarmed us? Would you describe it as a grunt?
No, it was like a wheeze.
A wheeze. That's a good one.
So I have to tell a story real quick about a pet. When I was little, I wrote a book called Why I Deserve or Why I Want a Puppy Golden Retriever. And I made this book, and I was like probably in like third grade or something, like little, right? I'm like a little kid, and I wanted a golden puppy retriever so bad, and I made this book to show my parents how bad I wanted it, and they said no afterwards, and I cried.
That's amazing.
I would too.
But the book details like how I would take care of it, like how I'd feed it, how I'd pick up its poop. Like I went all out on this book. I still have it too.
I've seen it. I've fixed it. It's a real deal. Like it's
Would you buy him a puppy golden retriever after reading it?
I don't know how you can say no if you have like the space and the means.
That's fair. The question is
very similar to that, but it's also a scrapbook.
Yeah.
All of little Donnie's memories.
His first gold coin.
His first gold coin. First time trying cheese, you know. You got to document these things.
Yeah, it's important stuff. As kids keep pooping on me. So I think we're about ready to jump back into it. With at the time, everyone's kind of milled themselves awake. With no sunlight to be able to determine the time of day, it can be a little disorienting. But eventually, those who have been trying to find rest have found enough to be able to wake up and feel rejuvenated and get on with the day. Opal, you are probably the first one to get up since you were able to take the longest time resting through the whole thing. As you guys are preparing for the morning, is there anything happening that like going on, or is it just more of a normal day?
I want to check out the little demon child.
How are you doing so?
I'm going to wake up, get all my armor on, maybe do a little stretch. Brush my teeth. And I'll just glance over to see what's going on.
Yeah, of course. I imagine the time's still about the same time that Pinky and Alia are still working on their things. Breakfast is almost done. It's probably the biggest thing that helped wake you up. And Pinky's just, you see her over there folding leaves together and being able to string them along little twine strings. But as you glance over to the boys, kind of closer to the fire, close to where Alia is at, you notice that they both seem to be sleeping sound. And it's kind of uncanny. Do a perception check. Okay, so we go into the laboratories. So you do have some time to kind of watch over them, so it's that. You can. What'd you get?
5.
5. It takes a while, probably just as everyone else is waking up, and you see the boys waking up as well. So you're not able to kind of glean this while they're still asleep. But it's uncanny how well whatever this child is acting as a child. You don't, for what you don't notice anything right now that is setting him apart from the other boy, just besides size and things like that. They look very similar, like they would be brothers. And it kind of puts you in a little bit of a weird feeling, as you know that what you sense is what you sense, and that is the truth. But oh yeah, he's been going. But you also know that, from what you can see, he looks to be a normal boy.
Okay. When the boy awakes, I'll sit next to him.
Okay. He seems a lot shyer than the younger boy, and so you kind of sit down next beside him, and he kind of scoots away a little bit, unsure of your intent. What?
How'd you sleep?
Fine. Better than I have the past couple of days.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So, what do you like to do for fun?
Well, I don't know. Things. I like to go play bird tag with my friends. I like to. We started not too long ago looking around, seeing some of the things down here. We won't go too far from one of the exits, but yeah, we as he kind of pauses for a second, thinking about what his next words should be. Yeah, I help my father. He's a laborer, and whenever I can, I'll join him.
Can I insight check that?
You can definitely insight check that.
Come on, guys. Nope, they're even worse. It's a 6.
6.
My rolls are just getting worse.
Well, you can tell he's telling the truth. There's nothing about what he's saying that, or the way he's saying it, that's putting you on edge. The only thing that kind of caught your notice was that, like, after he told that they sometimes explore underneath the city, he stopped himself for a second, thought about what he was going to say, and then he continued on.
So, so what kind of brought the game down here? Anything catch your friend died?
With this, he'll kind of a little bit start just shaking his head. What stuff? We thought it was cool. It's about at that point, though, Vinny, who's also awake until his eyes will kind of brighten up, realizing what the conversation is about. When we were down here, we were looking around and we found something in the room. It was crazy. We hidden kind of behind a little stone, and it's about at that moment that you see Ralph kind of stare at his brother and kind of give him kind of like that death glare, like, hey, you shouldn't, like, don't say anymore. Not like he's about to kill him, but like kind of looking at him like, hey, be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll be like, yeah. And he'll look down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, what was the round thing?
Oh, it wasn't round. And he kind of like looks down again after seeing his brother again.
Look, in order for us to help you, we need to know everything.
The older one says, okay, there's something though I'd like to tell you in private. Is it all right if Vinny, go get some food? As the younger boy kind of trots, he kind of goes, ooh, food, and then kind of wanders over towards where Alia is, and he'll kind of beckon you towards the door where you were sleeping. Out kind of the prying appearance of anyone else, and he said, as soon as you get there, he kind of beckons you to kind of lean down so that way he can whisper in your ear.
I would say at this.
Would you do that?
Well, I would, but I would also grip my axe tighter.
Like you have it kind of just ready, already. As his mouth kind of comes up to your kind of cupping it, the low whisper is not the same as the boy. As a very dark and deep voice sounds through, but still in the whisper. I know who you are. Watcher. Ray Quetra. How dare you come here? I suspect you already know who I am. If you'd like to see that boy leave alive, you would keep quiet.
Opal will grin and come back, and will then also.
Yeah. As he kind of leans in.
Oh yeah. Well, I know you too. And if we don't want to out each other and cause trouble, I suggest we both stay up.
I think that we can come to a agreeable contract, so to say. I know where the actual two are held, and that's what you want. To help the children. To get them out safe. We want something as well. We have no taste for your world with its bright sun anymore. It is not the world that we left so long ago. I will explain more as we go.
We'll reach out her hand for a handshake.
Yeah, the little boy will take it, and with his back turned towards the rest of the group, no one else is able to really determine the look, but you can tell the smile on this boy is that of malintent. Though happy with its agreement, it looks quite pleased with itself.
Opal would just grip a little tighter until he wins.
A little bit neat. I think I'm ready for breakfast too. Is that okay?
Yeah, I guess.
As he'll run over to his brother, as the other boy brings him a bowl, just smiling. He will take it appreciatively.
Well, what's the plan now?
I would just, you see the little boy, Vinny, the younger one. He'll kind of look up. You can't leave Glenn.
Do you know where Clem is?
The older one that you had just been talking to, Ralph. He'll turn to you and says, I think I can remember the way back to where they were holding us, where we escaped. If we go that direction, I think I might be able to recall where it was.
Were you deeper or anything like that? Do you remember anything of going ascending, descending, anything?
We have ascended from where we were at. It was lower than here, but probably about half day's journey through the tunnels.
Okay. Again, I don't mean to bring trauma because that's far from my intention. But do you think we should prepare ourselves for what's ahead?
We were lucky enough not to pass anything along the way, but I mean, when we found this place to hide, this armory, we thought we'd be able to lie here and get some rest. But then that ooze, and you can see the disdainful shudder in the void. It trapped us in there. We were only able to hide because it was able to find something it liked more to chew on.
If I see another one of those oozes, I'm killing it on the spot.
As you should.
Adelaide had just finished fashioning like a little baby Bjorn
The jar.
out of his lip. She's just gonna kind of like look up and then like slowly look back down.
Like, and then Ren will like make eye contact, and Ren will be like put the Bjorn away.
All right. Is there anything else that you guys would like to do before you leave camp?
Yeah. No.
What's the little kid's name again?
So the little one is named Vinny. The little older one that Opal was talking to, you saw in the corner for a little bit. His name is Ralph.
Vinny, I'm assuming you don't want to leave your brother to go up topside.
He'll look to Ralph, who says, I don't want to see him get lost. I think sticking with all of us would be safer. If we're a bigger group, less things are probably going to try and attack us. And it's kind of surprising, like, a little bit of the wisdom that you hear in the words, but also, Opal, your eyes kind of tighten and you breathe in and breathe out a little bit as a kind of a knowing sigh as the boy kind of glances towards you.
I'll kind of sigh under my breath and just say, Kismet. All right, that means we got 2 more people that we need to protect. I'll grab that the rusted dagger that I had used the other day that had, or like the
They kind
fire,
of thrown off to the side.
and I'll go up to the older one. Do you know how to use this?
I grew up in the slums. I can handle my.
Take this. Stay close to your brother in case things go bad.
Okay. As he wraps the dagger and kind of puts it in the little belt that's holding up his tunic.
And then I'll reach into my I'll reach on my sash and grab the holy water, and I'll hand it to the littlest one. And I'll say, if any of those shadow demons or whatever they are get close to you, either pour this over yourself or throw it on them. Should deter them.
It looks like just water.
It's a little bit more than just water.
Okay. He kind of uncaps it and kind of gives it a sniff.
Go drink it.
Okay. You can kind of see him going for it. He puts the cap back on and kind of holds it tightly, almost as like a teddy bear sense. All right. As you all deconstruct the barricade that you placed in front of this door, you head out of this armory and the older boy leads you back up the way you came, not deeper into this area, but back towards the old streets of whatever this city used to be.
That gate that shut.
No. As you guys had almost traveled for a good while through kind of street-esque areas, that gate had been farther back, right as soon as you kind of came through that great hall and then entered into a little bit of the sloping down. That's probably a good almost a mile and a half away from where you're at right now.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember the area that Adelaide had found that you were in the night prior, but that's where.
Yeah. So like, is it where we fought that rat, or like where we found the lady, or after that?
That was before. It's after that. There was like kind of ruins, and you found streets of the old city still intact. Whatever had been here before.
Yeah. Okay, I remember.
You had traveled that for roughly a mile and a half or so until you found this place. The boy leads all of you back towards the main entrance of this battlement armory and back towards the way that they had come. If there's anything that you guys would like to do as you're traveling, anything in particular?
Opal would have been up by the boy and would have asked him one question.
Yeah.
With you being here, will you ensure our safety?
I can do what I can for that which I have control over. He would whisper back to you. We shouldn't run into too much hostility. We've done a fairly good job of clearing the area, so to say. The thing that we need you to do is something that only you can do. There's a seal, as his voice, very not. What?
Tori just turned to me and was like, said seal. She's like,
Yeah. There's a seal that you must destroy. No.
I'm so sorry.
There is a seal placed upon someone. Before we can leave this wretched place, it must be broken.
With it.
You'll come to find out. The name of the creature is Mutton. And he's kind of like weighing. I imagine that you guys are kind of a little farther away, so it's only you and the boy talking. He is needed elsewhere. I will tell you this, we have no desire to go to your surface world. No desire to be among your people. We did what we had to gain power, to gain strength for him enough to hopefully make the journey.
Where is he going?
Hopefully to a place that he can call home.
Opal will ponder to herself and try to recall past Opal life. What exactly took place with uneventful.
As you're walking, I'd like you to do a religion check to see if you're able to tap into those previous Opal's memories.
20!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, job.
Much
All right.
better than a final 4.
As you kind of sit there and ponder what the little boy said, like as he kind of leads ahead a little further, you continue to walk, and then you kind of stop yourself and you're like, wait, I need to figure out something. As you stop yourself, you're able to bring your consciousness forward, almost to the feeling of like it's at the front of your mind. And then you're able to feel almost like the ability to separate it from who you are right now. With yourself feeling like you're separating, it's still a familiar feeling from what you've done before, but this time it's more conscious. You're able to have a better grasp of what you're looking for. And with that idea of this city in mind and what transpired here long ago to a different Opal, your eyes open up to a different site, to a different place. You look forward and you see yourself from another set of eyes. Looking forward, you notice what looks to be the signs of a battle. You see yourself from your point of view. Standing on top of a large hulking figure. Its form almost as black as ebony, with almost kind of a scaled appearance, though not quite so. You see places where it's smooth, leading up to a face many times larger than you are. Whoever's eyes you are looking through right now stares up at you in almost bewilderment as your axe is raised up above and sinks itself down into the chest of whatever creature this is. It has 3 large horns protruding, 2 from the side that kind of curve in, and 1 larger one that kind of wraps up and down like that, like almost kind of a sickle shape. It bellows in pain as what looks to be some sort of great sword. It starts to thrash, trying to get up, though not able to find purchase on whatever the beam you see planting itself on its chest. With that, you hear the words of a voice very similar to your own, as the eyes of this person, this Opal, flash with a bright emerald green. The symbol of the triquetra implants itself onto this demonic presence as a glowing faint amber light appears, mixed with the green from the eyes. The words that ring forth from the mouth say, "O onion, I seal you away, not to be found again, to die where you should never have been, to protect the people of Have Not." With that, your eyes kind of flutter for a second, and you recognize that you're almost at the back of the group by now. Your friends passing you. It's about this point, Adelaide, I would assume, would kind of come up and touch you on the shoulder, asking you if you're all right.
No. But I'll explain later.
You've been doing that a lot more recently, and I'm beginning to get a little bit worried about you.
Yeah. Opal will gulp as I just did, like. I'll explain later.
All right, I trust you. In the meantime, I have a secret that I think will lift your spirits. Oh. She's gonna take the jar out. She's gonna like show
You see what looks to be a jar half filled with some sort of black liquid.
Opal, meet Donnie.
Opal will just stare with her eyes wide and slowly whip out her axe.
Adelaide's gonna like pull it away, like I get closer to her chest. She's like, no. Donnie is kind. Donnie is good.
Donnie is good.
Donnie is good. Very good. And she's gonna screw open the lid and she's gonna kind of like topple it into her hand a little bit.
You see like this half together form as it fills the jar kind of tip. It kind of forms back out of its resting position of just, loose gelatin. And it kind of gets more of a form of kind of the central rump of it and two little arms as it kind of topples out. It goes, and like kind of lands into her hands as it like kind of surveys that familiar tingle coming over your hands. Adelaide, as you can tackle Donnie doing his work great.
Opal would continue to stare wide-eyed and then look up at Adelaide and just have a sacred flame in her hand and be like,
No. He has practical purposes, right? 1, excellent manicures and pedicures. And 2, should we ever need it, she's going to lean in a little bit closer, the disposal of DNA evidence.
oh. I mean, Opal will consider that actually like, oh. But then be like, well, is it a baby of a goose, whatever, of what we thought? Are we being tracked by them? Like, how do you know we're not being followed because of that thing?
Adelaide's going to pause and then she's going to look behind her.
Make a perception
Make a
check.
quick scan. Oh no!
What you do?
Dice. Is these my dice? These are dice.
And
Thank you. What is it here?
Yeah, there's cookies.
13, 14, 15.
You look back, it's dark, but you see no food. It's just like looking back with torchlight behind you to see like about 30 feet out and then kind of gets dark. And then you see with your dark vision farther out, kind of the faint silhouette of the gray scale ahead. You see a ooze of black ichor behind you.
Adelaide's going to turn back to Opal. I see no ooze.
oh,
Listen, and she's going to put her hand on your shoulder. She's going to say, I trust him. I trust Donnie. We all trust Donnie.
it's a ward.
Adelaide's going to like look back at the ooze.
Do you want to do a check?
No.
Okay. As if you would, you would just see a sensor bar. Undetermined.
Hey, Opal, come up here.
In a minute.
Adelaide's going to like grip your arm and she's going to be like, I'll give you time to decide how you feel about Donnie. But please don't tell Barren.
But what if he can help differentiate if it's good or bad?
Barren doesn't know what's good or bad. And until he knows that, it's not all right to trust him with the fate of Donnie.
Okay. You get 50% okay.
I'm going to need at least 60% okay.
Okay. We'll do 60.
If Donnie is destroyed, my heart will break.
Okay. And what if you are destroyed and your heart is already broken?
Then Donnie lives to see
And
another.
then
Let's move on and I'll be happy. Yeah. All right.
With that, you
Okay.
kind of put him back into his jar as he goes, no. He kind of slides down. He spread out a little bit far in your hand, so you kind of set him on there, and he's kind of like the silly ooze as you kind of like slowly like you kind of hear the as like a little air is released from underneath him. You cap the jar. Donnie's back in his jar. Okay.
One more thing. Can you label the jar so we don't mistake it for the other ooze?
Yes. And then later that night, you'll catch sight of the jar with the label juice on it.
Juice.
Punch.
Punch. You want Opal to come forward?
Opal will come forward.
Hey, do you have that book that we found?
Yeah, my book.
Pretty sure it doesn't belong to anyone.
The party's book.
Sure.
Okay, now you're included. Now you're not.
I want it.
We already had this conversation.
We did?
Yeah. When I read it. No, when I figured out what it was.
This is me asking. I don't think we have this conversation.
This is between you two. Don't leave me.
It was late last night. What did we talk about?
Wait. You asked me to identify the objects that you found in the vest.
Yeah.
Or whoever found it. And I did. And I wanted to keep the book.
Well, you see, I want to keep it.
What?
I want to give it to my sister.
And why should I pray?
Because you're a kind soul who just looks upon the downtrodden.
So you're dirty. Okay. I'm kidding. How about when I read it, then I give it to you?
Sure.
Okay. I'll do you a high five. Alright, just do you. Okay. I will read it this evening and give it to you before I go to bed.
Also, remind me the kids' names.
The younger is Vinny. The older is Ralph.
Do you make a face when you say Ralph?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. And I will trot up ahead and catch up with the little boys.
Now I want to ask you one more question. Little get to know you question. How many languages do you know?
Enough?
But I need a list. Because I want to compare.
Compare?
Yeah.
Compare what?
See if we know the same languages.
I mean, I speak. What we're speaking now, pretty good.
Yeah.
I know a little bit of Dwarvish. Not really enough to say that I know the language. Mostly just swear words.
I believe it.
I've dabbled in a little bit of Draconic. That's about it, though.
Okay. Well, sounds good. Okay.
We'll catch up with the little boys and just start some little chit chat.
You found the littlest boy. The older one seems to be kind of more stoic, just kind of looking around, making sure that he's leading you all in the right direction. Looks around and continues walking. The little boy seems to have found what looks to be a crude, old, rusted dagger. The blade on it almost in like a snake-like curve as it rises back and forth. I can't remember the name of those blades. The ones that are banned against the Geneva Convention, you know?
Legally?
Yeah, the ones that the
I
daggers.
know what you're describing
that.
now.
The snake dagger. He picks it up off the ground and like as you guys walk past the rock, he'll go, ah! And he'll just like poke it with the dagger as the dagger kind of like chips off the grass. And take that! And he'll do it to another rock. As you guys are walking past. The older boy would be like, hey, shh.
I'll kind of come up and just say, I think you got him pretty good.
The little boy will kind of look back up to you, kind of quizzically. He'll then look down at your whip and say, as well as all the daggers that are kind of placed around your body, and says, I bet you've done that to a lot of things, huh?
I have.
What was your first one? Was it an evil knife-eared dark elf? Or was it some big monster lurking in the forest?
Werewolf.
Ooh, a werewolf? That's foaming from the mouth and eating people in the village?
Something like that, yeah.
As he looks down, he's like, yeah! As he kind of just seems really excited about the whole situation. The old boy will again kind of ushes his younger brother and say, hey, Vinny, don't bother the guy.
It's fine. Let him be a kid.
Hey Chase,
Yes.
this is just for my my map notations. So you said we went back towards the city.
Yeah.
Right? Did we go east or west? Yeah. That's kind of how like my map's going, so
I said that the way that you guys were supposed to go towards the Sminer's Quarry was towards
the east.
the east, correct?
Correct.
Over wet, soggy Ephels, right? So you would be heading towards slowly as it turns. I think it was heading more northish. It would slowly turn head easternly. But it seems to like slowly but surely be dropping elevation fairly well.
Okay.
You come to a lot more like crags and a lot more things that you have to kind of work your way. Some of the tunnels are kind of wider expanses, big enough to fit a good couple houses. Some of them still seemingly intact structures. Other places you have to squeeze through by just trying to breathe out as much as you can and shimmy your way through, almost like a slot canyon. Pablo, with his large upper body, sometimes struggles, but he makes it through all right. Eventually, though, as you continue on, like, I don't know, were you finished with talking with the boys?
I mean, it's up to you. I was just having a conversation with him. I think he had said was trying to hush the little boy, and I was just like, let him be a kid.
Yeah. You've been traveling for a couple of hours now, and it's probably getting to be about a little bit in the afternoon from your rough guesstimation. It's a little hard to tell. The older boy kind of stops you all. And says, we're going to pass through a large cavern. There's a lot of water around. Just be careful, okay?
Okay.
It's a little bit precarious. As you all continue through, You make your way to what looks to be a large room cavern, and as you look around, you can see what looks to be off in the distance to your left, a waterfall gushing in with some subterranean river flowing into this place. A large, almost, it's not big enough to be considered a lake, but it's a large pond for sure. Fills up the majority of this cavern, leaving what looks to be a small walkway through the middle. You can hear from also the right side of you, off in the distance, what sounds to be the more rushing water as whatever is down that direction, the water must pick up speed and head farther that direction.
So which way down?
Straight across. On the other side, there's an entrance, and then it continues farther downward, and then we should be getting close. It's about at this point, as you kind of are looking around with your lights lit, you see among the water below, with the light entering into the room, what looks to be small lights in the water. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly kind of swirling around.
How did you get across the first one?
We walked.
Pinky's going to fly.
It has like a land bridge between the middle. That's what he's saying. Like we have to go straight through the middle, as it's a little raised area.
Wait, real fast. What do you mean by land raised? Like, does it look natural, or does it look like someone put it there?
As you look across, it looks natural, except for in the middle, what looks to be some sort of bridge that has been placed in.
Okay, so the bridge is placed.
Allowing the water from one end to flow to the other.
Out of curiosity, can Moss like inspect the bridge to see if the bridge is stable?
Sure. It is a good, probably 100, 200 feet from where you're standing right now. You can walk up to it if you want.
Let's.
Yeah, Pinky was gonna fly over the water and investigate the lights without getting too close.
Sounds good. We'll do Moss's thing first.
Okay.
All right, so Moss is gonna go up and investigate the bridge.
All right. Make an investigation check as you're kind of looking it over.
That's gonna be a 16.
With a 16, you don't notice anything particularly out of the blue have off-putting about this bridge.
Okay, sounds good.
Nikki, as you fly above the light, I'd like you to do a perception check. Or how close do you get to that?
A what?
How close do you get to the water?
I guess she'd start by being like 2 feet above the water to see what she can see.
So fairly close to the water.
Yeah, decently close, but like if she sees anything coming towards her, she's gonna move.
Okay. As you guys continue on, and as Moss, you approach the center bridge, light bathing the cavern, noticing more of these lights appearing underneath you. What started off as just a handful of spots has turned into probably close to 50, maybe even 100 lights swirling through the water. Pinky, as you approach one in particular, and you get close to the water, about 2 feet away, you peer in, and you see what looks to be some sort of small jellyfish floating through the water. Kind of a greenish bluish haze coming from the inside as its bioluminescence shines back at you.
Does it look I don't know, menacing in any way?
It's about the size of like a teacup.
Okay. If I get closer to the water, does anything happen?
You fly really close to the water. You're about touching it. Nothing.
Okay.
I'm gonna get down on the level of the boys, like turning you down. And I'll just say, if anything happens, stay close to me and follow what I say.
Okay. Are you guys crossing the bridge? Yes.
Hmm.
Do we check for traps? Everyone check for traps.
Like, I don't know. This is sus.
Yeah. I mean,
Moss,
Pinky
you did a 16 on your investigation check, correct?
Yeah.
You did not notice any traps. Just so you know.
Okay, and does the bridge look old or new?
It looks fairly old, but from what you can tell, you don't like with your check. You don't notice anything out of place that would make you feel like this would be an unsafe pass.
Okay, Moss feels confident. Moss is gonna go on the bridge.
As soon as you step onto the bridge, Moss, your foot hits the rock. The next one hits, and you're able to walk across.
Dope.
I'll follow behind Moss with the kids kind of behind me.
You, as well, one foot after the other, cross the bridge. More lights of the jellyfish have blown. There's enough light that there's kind of a blue radiating glow coming from the water beneath. It's quite beautiful as it's shining a lot of light around the sides of the cave. It's almost a serene moment as you look around.
I almost want to put like a little grab part of whatever clothing I have on, just kind of briefly put it over the everlasting flame to kind of dim it and just kind of look around.
Is everyone putting kind of not stuffing, but
something just to
kind of blocking the light for a second just to see what it looks like?
That's what they're
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know.
I'm not
Baron
gonna
said
say
anything
anything.
that Adelaide would. Oh no, there's just the two flames. She doesn't have that.
There's two flames, and who has the other flame?
You mean the little?
The other flame. Yeah,
Was it?
I didn't understand that.
I think Pinky grabbed it.
Pinky has the little.
Yeah, he has the little spell. Yeah.
Who has the other torch? There's two torches that are ever burning.
I could have one. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah. As you all kind of cover up the light, you look around, and the reflection of the light in the pool below you illuminates onto the top, almost casting reflecting the light off the top as it's bright from below, but almost kind of like a serene look. It's almost like you're surrounded by stars as you stand on this precipice of this bridge. A beautiful light all around you. And it's comforting to know that even in a place that's been this dark and this difficult, there's still that beauty that can be found. As you linger a moment longer with the torches uncovered, slowly but surely each of the jellyfish slowly start fading in their light. Some of the ones that have been glowing longer stay longer. After a little while, you uncover your torches and more of them start to glow back again.
I think I'll just continue moving.
Yeah. Continue onward.
Made sense.
As you all cross, you're able to make it to the exit of the cave on the other side. You continue on.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, I had to do that just to give you
Chase is sus.
just to give you a little anxiety.
Now it's gonna hit us when we don't expect it.
That's the whole goal.
And you continue on. Bam! Oh.
And then you learn that the jellyfish were actually you this whole time.
They were the dead souls of those who have passed in this cavern. That's terrible.
That's sad.
There's Navy. That's what Brigadier Hawes says. But she says, I just heard that from someone. I don't know if it's true.
We should have captured the souls and sold it to a rock.
I've never been down this low.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's other people that have been down this low. It's a joke. Golf. You guys are so serious. It's literally just a joke. Yes. I promise.
Wait a minute.
I was seeing how far I could hold it on. Okay, well, all right. It's not that big a deal. Continuing
Where is
forward,
it?
as you continue forward, you take another couple of hours. As you continue forward, though, a lot of those semblances of what used to be the city itself diminish as the farther you get and the closer you get to this Myers Quarry, the less and less you find signifying the presence of whatever city lurked underneath here. This catches you back to the notion or the thought, I think, that the Zagani shared with you, that little emblem or that little tick of knowledge that she threw out, that the Smiter's Quarry, where it stands today, was actually one of the richest and wealthiest parts of the old city. But in lieu of its capture, the conquerors demolished that part of the city and laid it low and flat, nothing left. As everything that had been there prior was destroyed and torn down. And then building on top of that was the poor of the next city. What used to be the richest area is no more. And not only that, but it's become where the poor live for the next layer above.
How long how long have we been traveling, and does it feel like this whole time we've kind of just been
Slowly setting down. Yeah. You'd say you're probably, it's hard to tell, but from what you can tell, it's probably at least 1,000 to 1,500 feet deep on the surface, but you have no way of judging depth from where you're at. It's just kind of the innate feeling of it's got to be deep from where you're at. You feel like
deeper than I've gone in other places?
Probably around the same depth.
Right? I feel pretty comfortable.
Eventually, though, you all get to a point where you're nearing the what looks to be another entrance to a cabin. There looks to be what looks to be, sorry, my words are escaping me. It looks to have some sort of light emanating from it, though faint.
Is it the same kind of color that was in the box, like the prism?
You see what looks to be maybe some blues, but there's also a lot of greens and purples ahead as well. And it's a lot dimmer than what you had seen prior. Almost kind of more of just a haze of light.
We're getting close.
We are. It's not too fun now.
Tell us what's up ahead as far as you remember.
We'll head forward, and then we'll come to the side of a great chasm. And then we'll find what looks to be some. After traveling down a little ways, we'll find what looks to be a bridge, still constructed. And on the other side, there should be where they keep where they should be keeping fun.
And did you get a good look at what it was? Was it the shadow people?
I didn't. We just ran for our lives as fast as we could. With that, like, all going on, Miss Opal, would you be willing to lead the way?
This is your own talking point.
Yes.
Yes. After a short rest, is that okay?
But we're not that far away.
I agree. My feet are just sore, and I just need a second.
Make a persuasion check. Or a deception check if you're trying to do something shady. Don't tell me, or you don't have to tell us what it is. Whether it's deception or persuasion, it's just your intent behind it.
Persuasion. 14. Wrap my eyes.
He kind of sits there and says, well, all right, we can wait a little bit. Not too long though, okay?
I completely agree. I think to ease our minds a little bit, since we're entering a little bit darker areas, I created a game.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's quick, I promise.
He'll kind of squint his eyes a little bit towards you, trying to kind of cover the gesture away from other people. What's the game?
It's a puzzle.
A puzzle?
Yeah.
Well, but we're already this far. Do we really need to play a game?
It's really quick.
I'll be sitting over here.
I'll give you the book if you do.
You already said that you'd give me the book. Are you gonna go back on your word now?
Nice.
Okay then.
Did you send this? Do you want me to send this in the group chat for everyone?
Yeah, but not the answer.
Is the second one the answer?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not even been looking at the.
I think it's gonna be really tricky. It may take.
Oh wait, I'll have to do a crop. It may be harder to do it on this because you did it.
Yeah.
Because the answer is part of. Oh wait, no, it's this one.
Yeah. The second one has the answer. The first one does not.
So this one.
Yeah.
All right, I'll send that one in the group chat. Sorry, guys.
Baron's just gonna go over to like a wall and just sit down and just lean against it. Put his head down and.
I will say, the puzzle that I've made is more for my comrades, and it's a little more higher up, like 12 and up. You're 10, right?
Vinny goes, "Ah."
Here, Vinny, come over here. Teach you some chess.
Ooh, chest.
No. Just come over here.
I'll come with you.
Okay. Opal's puzzle should be being sent. I don't know how this puzzle is supposed to work. I have no idea the rules behind it.
It has the description underneath on how to solve it. I think I made it really tricky.
Where is it?
Whoa. Like a real puzzle.
Deliver.
Pardon me.
Right there.
Oh.
Each time.
You have to place it and put it together underneath.
Let them do that.
Yeah. And honestly, if you want to skirt around that, that's fine, because it's going to take a minute.
Yeah, that's out of game experience.
Yeah. So, Ralph, why don't you join us? So, like I said, it may be a little above your pay grade.
Okay.
What did you make this on? Just
Puzzle
parts.
maker.
You like while you were walking,
While you're walking,
you're
you're
like,
just like, hey, this is so fun.
With my dot journal. Yeah.
Do you actually want to use one of your short rests?
I'll massage my feet. No, we're playing a game.
no,
We're playing chess. Ralph. Ooh, that's okay. Ralph and I will be on a team, and you and Vinny can be on a team, and we'll play chess.
That's not how it works.
What about checkers?
Eight checkers.
Figures.
Pablo, with like seeing that games are coming out, pulls out a checkers board from the backpack, and then as you say that, he kind of like looks at you, looks down, and just kind of puts it back.
Okay.
Oh, wait, are other people actually trying to solve the puzzle right now?
No.
I'm not right now, no.
It's too thick.
Let's continue on then.
Sorry, no time for puzzles. Games.
Like I said,
As-
it wouldn't take long.
It's
if you
Pablo
do it
eyes you
initially.
down.
Like I said, it wouldn't take long to pass out. I forgot to mention that part, so my bad. But we can do it along the way. Ease the tension.
With that, as you guys continue forward, you eventually enter into what looks to be just a quick check. You guys can hear the music, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just want to make sure. All right. As you guys continue forward, you enter into the room described prior by Ralph.
I will. As the actual food.
By Vinny. Next to this.
Going forward. Hey, Joy,
Yes.
we can hear that.
Sorry.
No worries.
Snack.
It sounded like you were like ruffling, like shredding
Chip.
paper.
Hey, we get it.
Oh
It's
no.
all good.
It's all good.
It's a chip bag.
Yeah, I'm just disheveled because I was not expecting the mini game to come out, and so I was like, I was just about to jump into getting into the recatching my balance. As you guys enter into the cavern previously described, you look around and you can see what looks to be a large chasm in between the two walls, almost like a massive sword cut through the rock and stone, leaving a gash that you can't see neither the end looking one way nor the other. But what you can see is along the walls, in all directions, you find what looks to be small mushrooms, funguses, and other mosses growing, each one giving off a different hue of color. most of them being greens and purples and blues, but a lot of them being reds as well. You almost see what looks to be a full spectrum of color, though more strongly with the three that I mentioned prior. With that faint light coming from each and every direction, it's almost a little bit disorientating and kind of hard to tell exactly what direction you need to go. But Ralph, seeming confident in every step forward, leads you farther towards wherever this is. As you continue down for about 30 minutes along this ravine-like area, you don't hesitate to take a second just to look down. And as you look over the edge into the chasm below, it's very similar to that hole that you found in the armory, where it continues down, down, and down. No bottom within sight from your torches. And from the gusts of air coming up, you would assume that whatever is down there and however far it is, it would take a long time to hit the bottom.
Can you cast a light on like a big stone?
Yeah.
I just want to see how far I can see.
Yeah, as you cast light on the stone and you kind of throw it out into the middle, you see an arc go down. As the arc continues, you see the light go being smaller and smaller and smaller. You don't see it anymore.
No sound.
No sound. You wait for it to come, and it never does.
Guess we shouldn't fall, right?
Hopefully not, no.
Then you'll kind of give like a half heart laugh out from that. As you guys continue forward, you eventually see what looks to be some sort of structure in the distance. A dark purplish light emanating strongly from within what looks to be these dark, almost purplish rock walls. You can see what looks to be some sort of structure encompassing something up above. And you aren't unaware of what sounds to be the sounds of creature large. Something between a wail and a roar coming from that direction, as it's a kind of sound emanating, echoing down the chasm towards where you're towards where you are at. You can definitely tell that the sound is emanating from that structure. Poised on the other side of the chasm, as you approach, you can see what looks to be a bridge that crosses the cavern, heading towards it in the distance. What are you doing?
Glare at Ralph.
We're close. You should probably be quiet.
No one's scared of heights here, right? Good.
Think so? Yeah.
Pablo puts his arm down. No one notices.
Well,
So does Lou. You can't tell if he's just trying to get out, or if he was actually raising his hand.
He's distracted.
How are you approaching?
I'm being near the boys, or wherever the boys go on the boys.
They'll be closer towards the front.
Alia will be in the back.
Yeah. Ren, Moss. Well, Moss is gone. Ren, Pinky.
I think with the like Ren's kind of been leading with his like trap sensing capabilities. So I think he would probably be in the front-ish as well.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where, but yeah.
I think Pinky would be in the like general area of the party, but she'll be like off to the side or flying above them, just kind of stealthing. You know.
Yeah. Where you guys are standing as you've just barely have come out of the cave before you, as you kind of get your bearings again before heading on. I know I'd mentioned that you'd walked a little farther down. I just had something I wanted to mention. You notice what looks to be a large boulder that had previously been blocking the way to this area. And you see what looks to be slide marks as it's been moved out of the way by something.
Is it like over heavy?
Think about like a boulder the size of 2 fairly large station wagons.
Oh, so this would be like maybe quite a bit of force. Then.
Yeah.
I imagine Brigadier Hawes is probably near the back with Alia.
Sure, yeah.
Some of them control.
No, I think that's a fair judgment. As you guys continue on, you eventually, like I said, come to that bridge. You're standing across. From the other side, you can see what looks to be a shadow passing ever so often in front of you. You can hear the wails have grown louder. As you get close, you can tell it almost sounds like the sounds of frustration. This creature on the other side yelling and tormented almost. With the 2 boys close up towards the front. You all slowly start making your way across.
Did they say it was a steel bridge? Or is it, what kind of a bridge is this?
Think about like someone took a natural stone feature of the cave and used it to make a bridge.
Okay,
Like
so
that,
it's
like a
like
park.
a little more sturdy than like just like a rope
Yeah,
bridge with like.
yeah. It's a solid piece of rock.
Okay, I definitely wasn't imagining like a dinky little.
No,
bridge.
this is
okay.
this
This
can
is
hold
like
some weight.
okay, cool.
As you guys continue forward, right as soon as you get to the other side, you see the large shadow of a figure kind of look in your direction inquisitively. It's about this point, faster than anyone else could really realize what was going on. You see Ralph move quicker than he should be able to. He's grabbing his little brother, and there's a dagger to his throat. The same dagger that you gave him, Barren. With that, Opal and Vinny, his face gone pale, slowly saying, Ralph, Ralph, as slowly tears are rolling down his eyes. The older of the boys, clearly showing his true colors at this point, says, Opal, it's time for you to do what you are here for. Clearly in a voice very much different than his own. And for the rest of you, I won't get too comfortable. If I see any of you approach, I won't hesitate.
Pinky has been stealthing. Can she sneak up behind him?
I do not recall you telling me that you've been stealthing during this position. When did you do that?
Yes, I did. You asked where people were in the party, where they were traveling, and I said I was up above or off to the side stealthing.
Make.
She just talked over it a little bit.
Okay, that's why I didn't hear you. My bad.
Chase.
Sorry. I do try to lift my problems. Joy, would you be willing to do a stealth check for me?
Yes, of course. That's a 13, so not very good.
13.
Uh-huh.
1 second. The figure, the one that you knew as Ralph, who has put a dagger to his own brother's throat, doesn't seem to notice you.
Yes. What is Pinky gonna do? I don't even know what she's gonna do. Tall is Ralph?
Tall as Ralph, he's a little bit taller than you, probably by about a foot.
Okay. Oh, let's... Give me a moment. Let me look up my spell.
How far away is Vinny and Ralph
Okay.
Vinny and Ralph?
from everyone? Like, how far back did they step?
He's more towards the front, kind of fairly close to Opal, but he's kind of stepped himself a little bit of a distance away from the others, and he's holding with almost unhumanly strong arms for his size. His little brother by his hair, the dagger next to his throat. You can see what looks to be the slight trickle of blood as the dagger is poised to kill.
Okay, Pinky is going to get in range and she's going to cast Color Spray. Hope the kid doesn't die. Did you hear me?
I did. Now, I do want to press upon you that if this isn't able to work, this could lead to him recognizing a threat.
Yes.
I just want to make that clear for Pinky. But you can do whatever you want.
You know, Pinky's probably not going to do it. She's not going to risk the kid's life. But she will stay hidden.
So, Ralph, what's really your name?
I will not tell, for that could give you power over me. You can call me Ralph still. I do not wish to kill this child, nor do I wish to come to blows. But there is something that this one, as he gestures towards Opal, almost in disgust, must do. Then we'll be on our way.
We'll just fold her arms and kind of sway to her hip and be like, well, where's your part of the deal? Where are the other kids?
Safe. We will keep them safe.
I don't see them. I'll plan for your telling the truth.
At this, he will kind of give a whistle, and you will notice not too far away, sitting up on top of these walls right here next to the bridge, look to be two large gargoyles press themselves above. You can see what looks to be a cage suspended in between them. It's probably about 40 or so feet up, dangling in. You can see the visage forms of what looks to be Clem, as well as the real Ralph sitting in there, dangling up.
Do they look distressed? Like, are they?
They look like they're asleep. You can see their forms almost look a little malnourished if they haven't eaten in a couple of days.
Can you use divine sense to ensure that those are the right ones?
As you divine sense around you, you look up. They are not. They are not a demon, a fiend, a celestial, or an undead. They, from what you can tell, seem to be real children.
I'm sorry. So, what is this about? A deal? Or Opal, what did you promise?
I technically promised nothing. However, I
wouldn't say that, as he.
I said, however, let me finish, dear friend. I sense this big was demon in the middle of our fight with the goo. However, if I outed the demon too early on, it could have killed us at any moment, and I was not in the shape to handle it. Once I realized I had time to speak with him, quote unquote, he called me out and said he knows who I am, can't say a thing. And I addressed as, you don't say a thing either, and you don't hurt my friends either, implying that he said I needed to help him release my onion.
I would agree to it as soon as you possibly. Well, at your earliest convenience.
Well, yeah.
We get the kids if we free your master.
Yes. On my master's life, they shall be freed.
Still haven't shared with us where he'll go.
Nowhere that you'd want to.
And
Not your realm.
Well, what will happen if he goes back?
Like I said, like the other one, similar to me, I'm pretty sure said to you before, Vodenfell is coming. We are needed. You will not get any more answers out of me. It is up to you. You either approach there and help, or this child will die.
Can I insight check to see if they'll actually leave?
Yeah, make an insight check.
Smart, David.
I got a 23. 19 plus 4.
19 plus 4. From what you can tell, he's being completely honest. He's not lying to you. This, while its master, from what you can tell, Opal, seems to be demonic in origin, and demons are known for their chaotic behavior. These creatures that are in front of you almost have more of a devilish stench, in a sense. They're known to be law-abiding, though very evil still.
Can I make one more check? It's not like a traditional check.
What are you looking for? Like, what are you trying to ask?
I want to make an intimidation check, but reverse. So basically taking into kind of like the mana that potentially that Alia can sense. Just, I guess, trying her best to read the situation. Like, if this is to come to blows, like, is this even a fight that we can even somewhat sort of? So just kind of like an intimidation check. Like, how intimidating is this guy in front of us?
From what you can tell, the guy in front of you doesn't seem like something that you guys couldn't handle on your own. You faced a similar foe and were able to dispatch them while still the foe being protected and helped by shadows around it. You only see this creature right now. But as soon as you kind of make that ascertain, you look back and you can almost see what looks to be that large, lumbering figure. Probably standing almost 12 feet tall, with a large great sword that's sharply covered, scraping the ground. You can see the silhouette behind with the glowing rocks, the look of 3 large prominent horns. Opal, as you look at it, it actually looks smaller than the one that you saw in your vision. It's not the same figure. It's a little smaller. A good bit smaller. Probably about, 2/3 the size of the one that you saw in your vision. But nonetheless, the scraping of the sword on the ground, as well as the sounds of its cries, almost lusting for blood, ring out through the cavern. It seems like there's something keeping it back right now. You're not sure whether that's whatever this figure is trying to break, or if it's the figure itself keeping it back away from it.
Right.
Can you explain to me adjust the extra?
The what?
Adjust the extra.
I'm sure the extra planar.
Yes, I wrote it wrong on here.
Yeah, sure. So the way it works is you present your holy symbol, and each aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, or fiend within 30 feet of you that can hear you must make a wisdom saving throw. The creature is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. What turn means is it'll use its action to run away from you. Its full movement to run away from you for 1 minute. Unless it stays on the same until then, it's not effective. I don't know if you remember at the beginning of the campaign, I'm pretty sure it's Adelaide who used Chart Undead against the skeletons at the cabin. It would have a very similar effect on any of those.
Alright, sorry.
No, you're good. One, I would just like to look around and see if I can see any other beings besides this one or the big guy. If there's anything else around, and then I would also like to just hold an action for if anyone like on my side or their side like moves in a way
that's threatening
to use my whip.
Okay. You notice a few things. Make a perception check to see how much you notice.
Okay, so, 18.
18. You don't notice any other figures in this chamber as of right now. The couple other things you notice. In the center of this room where this hulking figure is, you can tell that it's almost like it's a depression, like it heads down almost a good 20 feet to the center where that glowing purple light is coming from. From your angle, it's hard to tell, but you can almost see what looks to be 2 large stone pillars in the middle that come up about halfway, and what looks to be a large rotating pitch black, almost rectangular prism-like structure in the middle floating. as it kind of slowly rotates. It itself is completely dark, like void of light, though it gives off the purple faint glow coming from it. You also notice the large figure itself seems to be partially made out of the shadow that you've seen other things made out of. As you see, one arm looks to be outstretched, wreathed in shadow, as the other one is made of what it is. You can almost see what looks to be a little bit of sickly ooze coming out of the sharp, ebony-like scales that shine. As you look at the face, it has a similar thing as one of the eyes. It's covered over, though you can see what looks to be a light, almost kind of like a star, for where the pupil would be, as its sharp and fanged face kind of looks down at you. Other than that, you notice not much else. That's about it.
You mentioned the gargoyles.
Yeah.
Are they alive?
No, think about
They're
large
just
gargoyle
statues.
statues, and between them is the cage. The cage is sitting about 40 feet up in the air.
I'll just kind of look at Vinny and just say, "It's gonna be okay. Just follow what we say. Be okay."
Alia's
You
gonna move over next to Barrett and just, I think we take the deal and we just get these kids out of here. I don't want to risk the kids' lives.
Well.
You better get moving, gatekeeper.
This is Opal's.
You didn't explain what would happen to the land once you is released. Any side effects for him returning to his realm?
I'm getting impatient as the dagger slowly starts pressing in. You can see that Vinny starts kind of wincing from pain, and a little bit gasping.
Can I look at Vinny? I'm just gonna. No, I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna look at him and I'm just gonna uncork my water flask and just take a sip. Just kind of put it
back.
Put it back and just. That's it.
Vinny, getting your idea, seeing what you need, we'll do a sleight of hand check to see how well he can move his hand. Would you like me to roll this, or would someone else like to roll it?
Let McKay roll it.
No.
Yeah, let McKay roll it.
First chase.
If he fails, I'm using the spell.
Okay. I will take my dice, and I'm going to roll it out here in the center of everyone.
Hey Chase, before you roll,
Yes.
how far are the real Ralph and the other girl? How far away are they?
Where you're at,
Yeah.
they're 40 feet.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna hold my action. So if this goes sideways, I'm gonna hold my action to twin cast or twin spell vortex warp and vortex the two kids out.
Yeah.
And to us.
All right.
Only if this fails. Like if crap hits the fan right here.
Okay, so but as far as we could tell, I just want to make sure. As far as we could tell, up to this point, Opal wasn't
Isn't moving anymore.
Wasn't moving anywhere.
This has been like the span of like
I've just been chatting.
20 seconds, as it's almost like
Right.
an impasse
And
moment.
it seems like Ralph is starting to get real impatient, like kind of
Yeah.
itchy finger, like
Itchy finger.
like
You can
it's-
see that the dagger's almost what looks to be like that far in.
Okay, so based on this, yeah, it seems like Opal may not be taking the deal or doing anything, right?
I'm holding my action, and I told Chase what I'm doing.
Okay, would you like to be present when I roll this, McKay?
I'm right here.
So just so you know, the creature has a passive perception. I know what it is. Vinny?
What's the folder actions? Me, and they.
Does Vinny get a plus anything?
Vinny has a +1.
Gosh. Let's go, Vinny.
He is like an 8-year-old child.
I did 12 moves up, and he's like, darn.
Vinny rolled an 18. +1. 19.
My guy.
Surprisingly deaf for his age. Probably because of what is at stake right now. Vinny slowly and unmenacingly finds the bottle resting in one of his pockets. Pulling it out and slowly, not to make any sound at all, uncaps it. This has been happening during this conversation. As soon as the knife gets pressed a little bit farther, he gets ready. And with a sudden flash of movement, Vinny will take the mug and splash it into the face of Ralph.
Let's go, Vinny.
Okay. I'd like you to.
Can I get Alia? Or is she gonna do that? I don't know. I already said it, right?
Yeah. Do what you were going to do.
Yeah, that'll be fine. They're not in range. My thingy.
You see?
Wisdom saving throw.
He will make a wisdom saving throw. See how well he does.
What is the thing? Or is it a charisma? Because I wrote charisma saving throw.
You would have to tell me.
Google finds wisdom.
And it's probably wisdom.
I wrote charisma. What's it plus?
He rolls and he pluses, and if it doesn't overcome your spell save DC, then it's okay. Then it fails.
Mhm.
He rolled a 12.
That is the DC.
That is the DC.
So he gets it.
He succeeds.
We learned last time that it's if you equal or surpass that you succeeded.
Yep.
But are there any other fiends nearby?
The large fiend itself. I need to look up his.
Hello, sir. It's your bedtime. Did you know that?
The large fiend that is behind you, you see it kind of eyes go wide. The one pupilless bright light kind of get big. Both of them get big. But it will use one of its legendary resistances.
Oh gosh.
To pass.
Golly.
As the holy water splashes Ralph in the face, you can see the flesh melting back into almost like a gray substance as a face of like almost a smooth, featureless eyes peer back. It snarls in anger at you. All Vinny escaping his clutches as it reels back in the pain, the dagger dropping to the ground. Vinny running to your aid, Barren. Both the old Ralph, whose face has been demolished, leaving only that featureless face, will look back at you. and say, "Mo onion, kill them."
Oh gosh.
We will end the session.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, dang.
And you still remember that me and David have held actions for next session.
Yep. So that will start. We will roll initiative, but you will get those beforehand. You will have to remember because we won't be back next week. It'll be 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
We'll be starting combat. I know that'll be a little rough, but it is what it is. Come with your A game.
Oh gosh, dang.
Dungeon.
Dungeon.